there's great diversity in the programs that PEP offers. For disabled, for example, for farm workers, housing, schools, in Africa, in Mexico, in different states, in Hawaii, in the past there was programs in Montana. This great diversity of programs, and to think that PEP started in a bus.
The journey, when I think about Dr. Arnold and everything he's been able to accomplish and provide, it's a journey. And so for our students, it's getting them to understand this is a journey. This moment, this graduation is a point in your journey, but your journey must continue. And for it to continue, you're gonna need some patience. You're gonna need some humility as you achieve the accolades that are set before you. And you're gonna have compassion to understand that everyone's journey is not the same as yours, but their journey is just as important as yours. And so when I think about those things, those three things, compassion, humility, and patience, that I see Dr. Arnold emulate in everything that he's had the privilege to lead and create a space for, that's what I want our students and families to gravitate towards when they leave our schools to carry out into the world.
From La Tortuga to international influence, international making a difference. We should really be proud of that. Please, let's give them all a nice round of applause. For everybody who's worked at Project PEP, for all the leadership, for Dr. John Arnold and his family that have sacrificed so much, but also for all the clients that we've served, because they are a part of this too. And we should not forget that service to the rural communities in southern Arizona has made a big difference in people's lives. Sometimes people really don't understand the difficulties that folks out there in the rural areas experience. And instead, we kind of concern ourselves with urban problems and we look at them, but transportation, human services, education for our youth, for our children, all critical services that Project PEP has been involved in. I can't tell you, but I do know this. I don't know where we would be without all of you who support Project PEP and without this organization that has done such great work over the years. And having worked in human services myself, I know how difficult it is, but I also know that it's through service that we acknowledge advocacy. And we advocate for those with less, and we need to. And especially in today's world where everything seems kind of crazy and we get unsure of ourselves because of the violence and hatred that we see getting spilled out in the streets of America today, I say, let's go back to the values that we know have made us great.
I've been working and collaborating with PEP for the past 5 years on different projects. It's a youth project that we work on, youth farming. We grow rice in that particular project. We have a training center that PEP helped us to set up around the concept of practical, portable education, especially for young farmers. And we're very grateful for the opportunity to have this kind of relationship, not just with Dr. Arnold, but with PEP. And then with the other programs in West Africa, there are programs in Ghana and Cameroon that we've also been in touch with. So there's been an opportunity to also share within our neighborhood. So that's been good. That's been very positive. So we look forward to growth, we look forward to new programs, we look forward to better engagement in the coming years. I'd like to say thanks to the PEP family, especially Dr. Arnold, for his enthusiasm, for his love for humanity. I think it comes across that he likes to work with people across religion, across cultures, across nations, and that's a very positive and healthy type of outlook.
One of the things that his idea is that education is the key to many opportunities, and it's the key to freedom. And this was a time when the industrial technology was coming to the farms, so that a lot of laborers were displaced because of the technology in the industry. For instance, you no longer needed manual labor to pick cotton because they now had machines that would do that. You no longer needed, later on, workers in the fields to chop the cotton or to pick the cotton or to thin the cotton. So what were those people going to do? So Dr. Arnold came up with the idea that if he had a bus that could go around to the farm workers where they lived at, he could give them some type of education. And this was ESL, English as a Second Language. Also, people who did not get their high school diploma, he provided GED classes for them. Also, in some of these rural communities, he also helped with community development. He taught the people that you can be in charge of your own destiny, and that is through developing your own community. In some of these communities, I think in Sahuarita and I know in Rito, we still have our own water company that is owned by the community. One of the things that PEP did, he not only went to the rural areas in Pima County, he went throughout Arizona to all the farm workers, providing services to them. He also took his idea internationally. And one of the things that I like about Project PEP, he's a very good example of cultural diversity. Dr. Arnold not only went to different places, he also went to different countries. He embraced their culture. He brought their culture back and started the PEP Hall of Fame. If you ever go down to 46th Street, you will see the Hall of Fame, where we have different cultures highlighted there.
Dr. Arnold's direct involvement with UFW and my dad really served to develop some of the programs that the UFW developed over the last 20 years. I think it's fair to say that my dad learned from the best. Someone earlier tonight asked me in an interview, had I ever seen a program like PEP? I said, yeah, I've seen programs that have online high school programs. I've seen programs that have tutorials, educational training, behavioral programs like Encompass, the program for the gardening. I said, yeah, I've seen that, but I don't think I've ever seen one, all programs rolled into one program. And I think that's very, very impressive. And I am so proud that you invited me and I've had the opportunity to see what you've done here. And as I go around the country, believe me, I'm going to tout what you've done here because I think it's something to be very, very proud of. Latinos need heroes. And you know, we have athletes and we have entertainers, but we need heroes. We need heroes who make a difference in terms of humanity, who change the lives of people like Cesar Chavez and John Arnold have done. You know, John and my dad dedicated their lives to help people and give people a sense of dignity and respect. If you can't respect yourself, how can you demand or expect for someone else to respect you? That is very, very profound. You see that it was my dad and John, that's what they've done their whole life. What they've done is they've worked to get people to have a sense of dignity and self-respect. And no matter what you do with individuals like that, once you instill a sense of dignity and respect, you can't take it away. That's the cornerstone of people's self-worth. If you've got that, you've got everything. You know, the message here is very simple. Help the needy, help the poor, and help the less fortunate. My dad had it right, and John Arnold and his group had it right.
I used to work for Tree of Life, which was in collaboration with PPEP. So I met Dr. John David Arnold back home in Ghana in 2011 when he first came to Ghana. He just came as a visitor, but along the line he came back again in 2014 and he introduced me to Tree of Life. And actually what we do is like we go around to the villages, to the communities, and teach people how to eat without meat. They should eat less meat, more fruits and vegetables, because we realize people's diet have changed a lot. It's no more like formerly. So we teach people, I may say we educate people about reducing processed food, and they should eat more natural food. So basically, that's what I do. Well, when I met him, I saw him as a great giant. The leadership he's leading or things he does, it goes like, oh, I think if I get closer to this man, I can learn more from him. So that teaches me a lot. I learn a lot from that. The most impressive one is scholarship, because back home in Ghana, it's very difficult to go to school, to find to go to school. So he is sponsoring children there. Currently we have about 13 kids and 2 has already completed university. So that's my main, I say, whoa, I like this part. Yeah. My last word to him is he should keep up doing all the good job he has been doing, and God should give him more strength and energy to live longer. Thank you.
If there was such an award, I would nominate him for the humanist of the last 50 years. So he's done such good work. And we have programs working together in West Africa, in Mexico, and a variety of other places. And John just keeps expanding. He always finds a new program to do. And so I really want to honor John as being really heroic. There is a biblical kind of teaching about service. The person who's doing the service is being served. That may seem backwards, but you'll understand in a moment. So when you're doing service, you are expanding your heart. You're expanding your consciousness. And you go deeper spiritually. There's a deeper connection with God because we have that opportunity to see God in every person. Another way it works, again, we have to do it without an intention, is that when you're serving, using an Eastern term, you're burning karma. In Hebrew we say midah keneged midah, which means so you actually burn up negative actions that we all have participated in one way or another. And so that service nullifies that in the big picture. And perhaps the most important is the very deep biblical teaching is walk before God and be a blessing. And I want to honor everyone here for doing that. And in closing, I want to bless everyone that you continue to be an inspiration to those around you, that you continue to be a blessing to the world, to yourself, and to God.
I've known John Arnold, Dr. Arnold, for a lot of years, since I was first city manager in South Tucson, and then when I was county manager. And
In those days, John was always looking for funds to promote issues related to the farm workers and people in rural areas who needed assistance. In all those years, I grew to admire John's ability to reach out in areas that were less accessible to just regular services and healthcare and all kinds of service delivery that people in government and public service, we work at providing those, but it's tougher in rural areas.
I'm Little Joe. Words cannot express how proud and honored I feel to be part of this beautiful and momentous occasion, to thank and honor the incredible journey and kindness of Dr. John Arnold. His work and good deeds are so numerous, it would take all night to talk about them. Here are a few. He worked for Head Start, recruiting migrant children for the classes. Worked with Cesar Chavez and the United Farm Workers. Recently, delivered hundreds of food boxes to feed thousands of people. Dr. Arnold has been a friend and an advocate for the Native American communities. He has worked with organizations such as LULAC, who have awarded him the Distinguished Cesar Chavez Community Service Award.